So first and foremost I want to give all praise, glory and highest honor to Yahawashi, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, rachakudash. Double honor to elders and pastors of Great Millstone. Shalom to hopefully elect of Hebrew Israelites, this brother of rock coming back. Okay, with the indoor ministry for this week. So, come today, Sunday, the 8th of February, was very cold. So, doing an indoor camp, Lord willing, next week. At least right now, it is estimated that it's not going to be as cold, so I could go out. And Khan is pretty late, I was just napping a bit, so that's why Jake looking a little bit tired, but it's all good, Let's begin with Psalms 144:1. It's a Psalm of David. Blessed be the Lord, Yahweh my strength, which teacheth my hands to war and my fingers to fight. Okay, with this, what did Apostle Paul say? Fight the good fight of faith. Okay, being in his truth, it comes with highs, lows, highs, lows, highs, lows. And the most important is that you keep on enduring, you keep on fighting. Okay, so this is a spiritual fight for the most part. My goodness and my fortress, my high tower and my deliverer, my shield and he in whom I trust, who subdueth my people under me. Okay, because in the kingdom, even the physical king is King David. Okay, of course, you're gonna have, Yahweh is the highest power. Then you have Yahawashi, who is also gonna be there in the flesh. But Ezekiel 37 speaks about King David being raised up. Okay, so King David is the in the of the 144,000, he's the highest, because that's Apostle Peter, okay, in the future reincarnation. Verse 3, Lord Yahweh, what is man that thou takest knowledge of him? What the Son of Man that thou makest account of him? Man is like to vanity, his days are as a shadow that passed away. Okay, which, look at this world system of today. It's all vanity, vanity and vexation of spirit. This is what even King Solomon said in Ecclesiastes. But then he came into a conclusion, I believe is verse 12, or chapter 12, verse 13. Yeah. Powerful. These are the two last verses of Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes 13 and 12, 12 and 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High Yahweh and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For the Most High shall bring every work into judgment, with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. So, you read all the 12 chapters of Ecclesiastes, and it goes into how, the riches are vanity, this world pretty much is all vanity. But then King Solomon comes into a conclusion, okay, which is to fear the Most High, okay, to keep his commandments, follow his word. Because you cannot hide anything. Proverbs 1 and 7. The fear of the Lord Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Okay. So, so if you are not a fool, if you are striving for wisdom, Number one thing is the fear of the Lord. There's also a powerful scripture concerning that in Sirach chapter 10. Okay, Ecclesiasticus. Okay, now going to Apocrypha. Okay, chapter 10, verse 24. Great men and judges and potentates shall be honored, yet is there none of them greater than he that fears the Lord. Okay, so that's the number one thing. Then we go to the word potentate. It says, this from Merriam-Webster dictionary. It says ruler, sovereign, broadly one who wields great power or sway. Okay, in the power seat. Synonyms: autocrat, monarch, ruler, sovereign. Yeah, so whereas this is a king, no, chief of any setting, there's none greater than he that feareth the Lord. Okay, Ecclesiasticus 10:24. Great men and judges and potentates shall be honored, yet is there none of them greater than he that feareth the Lord. So we know that fearing the Lord is more important. Let me see. Gone. Yes. Let me see. Gone. So good. Psalms 144. Verse 3. Lord Yahweh, what is man that thou takest knowledge of him, or the son of man that thou makest account of him? Man is like to vanity, his days are as a shadow that passed away. Bow thy heavens, O Lord Yahweh, and come down, touch the mountains, and they shall smoke. Cast forth lightning, and scatter them, shoot out thine arrows, and destroy them. Okay? And know what mountains are. Mountains referring to these governments. Okay, these different states, beginning with the United States of America, or Babylon. Okay, which I didn't remember this is there by spiritual, because I'm gonna switch gears real soon to go into the topic of nuclear destruction, man. Which is in the scriptures. Okay, America is going down, man. It's already fucking done. You have these Epstein files, man. You got DJT in them Epstein files. At this time that everything being revealed. Let me see if I have some articles on that. Because I saw some mention that there was of Trump in the Epstein files, man. It says his name is mentioned more than 3,000 times. And also I want to see if I'm able to save something. I want to see if I'm able to find something. Let's see. It is from The Hill, the magazine. It says that there's an article. Trump says country should move on from Epstein files after latest release. And this is recent. Okay, February 3rd. So this is okay, from this week. Yeah, because now, yeah, the time over here in Finland is in the side of Monday the 9th of February, but in the time of Babylon is still Sunday the 8th of February, and so this is from the 3rd of February, which is Tuesday. Now, why does he want to move on? Because he knows he's in there, okay? President Trump on Tuesday said that it's really time for the country to move on from Jeffrey Epstein, following the release of nearly 3 million more documents by the Justice Department late last week. Why do you think he want to move on? Because he in them files, man. It says, I think it's really time for the country to get on to something else, Trump told reporters in the Oval Office. I'm just gonna, read up some bits and pieces. The files contain mentions of several high-profile individuals, including Trump, former President Clinton, billionaire Elon Musk, and Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, among others. So they all in there, man. Then I just made a lesson about it recently concerning Norway. Norway, they threw, they all the way exposed, man, the so-called royal family over there. Okay, Trump says, I think it's time now for the country to maybe get onto something else like healthcare. Something that people care about. So pretty much what he's saying is forget about Epstein, forget about them files. So I don't gotta read more. Okay. But you see, man. So, I'm looking at, so I can, bear with me. Then Elon Musk asked about wild parties on the Epstein Island. So you see, they all messed up, man. It's all coming out. Okay, so this is another article. It says Epstein files. What are the main revelations and who is named by the Independent? And I'm gonna jump down the part concerning DJT, Nero 47. Asedopusta tahoa Kousin. And the newly published files included hundreds of documents that mention Trump, many of which were collections of media reports. One file details what appeared to be internal emails by federal investigations looking into salacious accusations involving the president and Epstein. Okay. Another message whose sender and recipient were both redacted reads, "What does GE, which is Jeffrey Epstein, think of going to Mar-a-Lago after Christmas instead of his island?" Referring to Trump's Florida club. The message is from 2012, years after Trump said the two men had stopped socializing. So he has not been honest. Trump has denied any knowledge of Epstein's crimes, but the scandal has dogged him for months. Of course he knows about the crimes. He also was there. In part because he promised to release the files during his 2024 presidential campaign, then renewed after taking office. Let me see something more. Because we live in the time of the destruction and end of Babylon, okay, which is America. Wild, bro. With this from YN, it says, this article, explosive Epstein files accuse Trump of raping 13-year-old, murdering a newborn. White House says this about allegations. Okay, it says Donald Trump has landed in hot soup as a newly released batch of documents from the US Justice Department highlights allegations that the US president raped a 13-year-old girl. The fresh batch of Epstein files released on Friday, January 30th, has reignited controversy around President Donald Trump and his past links to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. More so thanks to explosive claims of rape and even a murder, the president was an accessory to. The sensational claims briefly disappeared from the DOJ website after being released. A disappearance which didn't go unnoticed. The damning claims reappeared hours later with the DOJ saying, DOJ, I think it's Department of Justice, saying that the shocking allegations against the president were down due to overload and is back online. United States Department of Justice, DOJ, isn't that a joke? Ain't no justice in fucking Babylon, man. Let me read first with Isaiah 47. Okay, this that shame of America, is being discovered now. Okay, Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. You see, now they're going down. Take the millstones and grind meal, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Okay, because Babylon is known as the great whore in Revelation. Okay, and now you can see it's being revealed. The book of Revelation, now we're living in the time of revealing. All of these different things are coming out, man. Okay, all these different facts about the injustice and the filthiness that's been going on. This world system now is all being exposed. This time of exposing, man. Verse 3, thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man. You see, this is perfect, man. You see Babylon being fucking exposed. The shame is being seen worldwide. As for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Sit thou silent and get thee in the darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. Let me jump down to verse 9. But these two things shall come to thee. So like in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it has perverted thee, and thou hast said in my heart, I am and none else beside me. Yes, so they think they can do these things in secret. Therefore, evil shall come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Okay, in the book of Revelation it says that in 1 hour Babylon is destroyed, man. Stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth, if so be that thou be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. Thou art buried in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. which is impossible, Babylon cannot be saved, man. Behold, they shall be as stubble, the fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to sit before it. Thus shall they be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall wander every one to his quarter, none shall save thee. Yeah, these different nations that are in Babylon. Now they're getting out. It's this time of American dream has ended. So I'm glad I started Psalms 144 because it goes into the arrows, okay, which the arrows are symbolic for the nuclear missiles. Let me go to the article for a bit, then I'm continue with Psalms 144, okay? Okay, so it says, Trump raped a 13-year-old ? Among the files is an explosive allegation of rape involving a 13-year-old girl recorded in an FBI tip sheet from August last year. So the claim is part of a large database of unverified reports submitted to the FBI by members of the public. The material comes from an FBI spreadsheet linked to an investigation into the Alexander brothers' wealthy Florida siblings currently facing sex trafficking charges. The spreadsheet catalog tips received by the Bureau along with brief notes on whether or how agents followed them up. Okay, one entry describes a woman claiming that her friend was forced to perform oral sex on Trump roughly 35 years ago in New Jersey when she was allegedly 13 or 14 years old. The report says the girl was also abused by Epstein and that she was struck after biting Trump. Man, what? This is this dark, some fucking darkness, man. In the column labeled response, the FBI noted the caller was contacted and the lead forwarded to its Washington office for interview. No outcome is recorded. Other allegations against DJ Trump 47 Nero in the file. One of the more shocking claims against the president alleges that he was complicit in the murder of a newborn child which may have been born from sexual acts paid for by Trump and others. Yes, of course, so-called White House denied these things, but you see, it's all coming out, man. So many news, so much things going on, man. God, let me go back to Psalm 144. Okay. Beginning from verse 5. Bow thy heavens, O Lord Yahweh, and come down, touch the mountains, and they shall smoke. Which, America going to be destroyed, Israel going to be destroyed, but later rebuilt. Cast forth lightning and scatter them. Okay, which you're going to have the chariots, okay, casting these laser beams, okay. Shoot out thine arrows and destroy them. You know what are the arrows? These nuclear missiles. Set thine hand from above, rid me and deliver me out of great waters from the hand of strange children. Okay, which, ultimately we praying to be delivered into the ships, into the chariots, whose mouth speaketh vanity, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood. I will sing a new song unto thee, O Yahweh, upon a psaltery and an instrument of 10 strings will I sing praises unto thee. It is he that giveth salvation unto kings, who delivered David his servant from the hurtful sword. Rid me and deliver me from the hand of strange children, whose mouth speaketh vanity, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood, that our sons may be as plants grown up in their youth, that our daughters may be as cornerstones polished after the similitude of a palace. It's going to be in the kingdom, because now our people is gone, for the most part, that our garners may be full, affording all manner of store, that our sheep may bring forth thousands and 10,000s in our streets, that our oxen may be strong to labor, that there be no breaking in, nor going out, that there be no complaining in our streets. Happy is that people that is in such a case, say, happy is that people whose power is the Lord Yahawashi, Yahawashi. You see, and now we see the fruits of the Spirit, man. We're able to, understand this truth, have this hope. But now we're waiting for the kingdom to appear, okay, for Yahawashi to come back. go to Revelation, our scripture. Revelation 3 and 18. I counsel thee, and this is Yahawashi speaking, I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, and white raiment, that thou mayest be clothed, and that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear, and anoint thine eyes with eye salve, that thou mayest see. So, we have received this eye salve. We are able to understand these scriptures, which is not a given, it's not a, what is the word? You cannot take it for granted, because the majority of our people, they do not have this truth. Okay, Romans 11 and 7. What then? Israel has not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election has obtained it, and the rest were blinded. You see, they don't have that eye salve, they cannot see. According as it is written, the Most has given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear unto this day. And David said, let their table be made a snare, and a trap, and a stumbling block, and a recompense unto them. Let their eyes be darkened, that they may not see, and bow down their back always. Okay, Isaiah 13 and 1, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. Okay, so concerning Babylon, man. Let me just read the first 5 verses, then I'm going to go to somewhere else. Isaiah 34 would be pretty... Okay, let me just read the first 5 verses, then I'm going to see where I'm going to go. Maybe even Jeremiah. Okay, Isaiah 13 and 1, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. Okay. Which, us lifting up this banner, we go into the streets, we making these lessons, we bringing out the truth, man. I have commanded my sanctified ones, I have also called my mighty ones for mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord Yahweh of hosts mustered the host of the battle. A World War III. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven. Even the Lord Yahweh and the weapons of his indignation destroyed the whole land. Now what do you think that is? That's the nuclear missiles, man. So let me first go to Malachi, then I'll go to Joel 2. Okay, Malachi 4 and 1, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. Okay? Because Babylon is going to be totally destroyed. But unto you that fear my name, fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and he shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall. Okay? The elect getting beamed up. And ye shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet in the day that I shall do this, said the Lord Yahweh of hosts. Because after, getting beamed up, the elect going to come back down and take over, okay, by the guidance of Yahawashi, King David. See, Yahawashi and King David. So let me go to Joel chapter 2. I might have said Job, but I meant Joel earlier. Okay, Joel 2 and 1, which goes into the nuclear missiles, man. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord Yahweh cometh, for it is night hand. These Christians thinking the day of the Lord, they excited, yeah, we're gonna meet Jesus, the rapture. And they do not know what's going on, man. Okay, that's why in Amos it says, woe unto you, destruction unto you that waiting for the day of the Lord, but it shall not be light, it shall be darkness and gloominess, because for the most, the majority of the people, is, Yahawashi going to arrive in anger, okay, in war, not in peace. Only the elect of Hebrew Israelites are going to receive that peace. As it says here, Joel chapter 2, verse 2, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there has not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. You see? A fire devoured before them, and behind them a flame burned. A fire devoured before them, and behind them a flame burned. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape them. You see? This is going into the nuclear missiles, man. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devours the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Before their face the people shall be much pained, all faces shall gather blackness. You see, because they're gonna send that news report. Hey, Russia has just shot these, China and other places has just shot these nuclear missiles. It's gonna arrive in 25 minutes. That's a fucked up predicament. If you don't have the name of the Lord, okay. So this is why the other camps, IUIC, making mockery of the name of the Lord. ICPK, I believe, also can. That's the only name by which you can receive salvation, Yahweh, bahasham, Yahawashi. So then you calling on Jesus in those times, you might as well just prepare to be missile food then, Joel 2 and 6, before their face the people shall be much pained, all faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men, they shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march everyone on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. They're not gonna collide into each other, explode in mid-air, have some failures. They just because the spirit of Yahweh bahasham Yahawashi gonna be in these missiles. This way they're also not gonna hit Canada, okay? They're just gonna hit America. Neither shall one trust another. They shall walk everyone in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. And when it says neither shall one trust another, it's THRUST. You see, they're gonna fly beautifully. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining because of all the smoke. And the Lord Yahweh shall utter his voice before his army, for his champ is very great, for he is strong that executed his word. For the day of the Lord Yahweh is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? Therefore also now saith the Lord Yahweh, turn ye even to me with all your heart, and with fasting, and with weeping, and with mourning, and rend your heart, and not your garments, and turn unto the Lord Yahweh for your power, for he is gracious and merciful, slow to anger, and of great kindness, and repenteth him of the evil. Who knoweth if he will return and repent, and leave a blessing behind him, even a meat offering and a drink offering unto the Lord your power. And that is going to go into the kingdom. Man, the last verse, Joel 2 and 32, and it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord Yahweh, bahasham Yahawashi, shall be delivered, for in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Lord Yahweh has said, and in the remnant whom the Lord Yahweh shall call. So how can you disrespect the names, man? How can you not see the importance of the names? Okay, let me read some verses of Jeremiah 51. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I will raise up against Babylon, and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me, a destroying wind, and will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her, and shall empty her land, for in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. Against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifteth himself up in his brigandine, and spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her host. Done, Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her streets. For Israel has not been forsaken, nor Judah of his power of the Lord of hosts, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. Yeah, we went all the way fucking off, but this is why we banking on the mercy of Yahweh bahasham Yahawashi. Okay, Jeremiah 51:6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense. You know, spiritually we cannot be thinking as this world thinks. The scripture is in is it Rome? No, 1 Corinthians. Let me see. 1 Corinthians 7:31 come. And they that use this word as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passed away. The fashion of this world is about to pass away, man. Jeremiah 51:7. Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, therefore the nations are mad. Now you have women in Saudi Arabia, wanting that women sleep. You have the LGBT fucking worldwide. You have these Babylonian customs worldwide, man. Verse 8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain, if so be she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her and let us go every one into his own country, for her judgment reached unto heaven and is lifted up even unto the skies. So, yeah, you see these different Elamites and Islamites and stuff. Okay, many of them noticing these times, the American dream is dead. They're getting away, man. It says she is not healed, forsake her. You cannot. The destruction of Babylon is inevitable. You remember Thanos from the Marvel movie? Okay, Endgame. I am inevitable. You see, what is inevitable is the destruction of Babylon. Jeremiah 51:10. The Lord Yahweh has brought forth our righteousness. Come, let us declare in Zion the work of the Lord Yahweh, our power. Okay, when the kingdom is set up, you're gonna see us Israelites in our glory, man. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord Yahweh has raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, which the Russians, for his device is against Babylon, to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord Yahweh, the vengeance of his temple. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon, make the watch strong, set up the watchmen, prepare the ambushes, for the Lord Yahweh has both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. It's that Babylon means confusion through mixing, which is talking about America, okay? O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, thine end is come at the measure of thy covetousness. The Lord Yahweh of hosts has sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. He has made the earth by his power, he has established the world by his wisdom, and has stretched out the heaven by his understanding. When he uttereth his voice, there is a multitude of waters in the heavens, and he causeth vapours to ascend from the ends of the earth. He maketh lightnings with rain, and bringeth forth the wind out of his treasures. Okay, which not only the missiles, you're also going to have Yahawashi and the angels shooting these laser beams. I'm going to jump down to verse 24. And I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, said the Lord Yahweh. What they did to Northern Kingdom, to the so-called Native American Indians, Seminole Indians. You know, what they did to Latinos, what they did to the so-called blacks, you know, the Southern Kingdom. Verse 25, Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, said the Lord Yahweh, which destroyed all the earth, and I will stretch out mine hand upon thee, and roll thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burned mountain, a burned state. And they shall not take of thee a stone for a corner, nor a stone for foundations, but thou shalt be desolate forever, says the Lord Yahweh. If this was talking about the ancient Babylon, why is there a province of Babylon today? In modern day Iraq, you know, people living there, hundreds of thousands. That's not talking about the ancient Babylon, this is talking about the modern Babylon, which is America. Okay, following their nuclear missile destruction. Jeremiah 51:29, and the land shall tremble and sorrow, for every purpose of the Lord Yahweh shall be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without an inhabitant. That didn't happen with the ancient Babylon. The mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight, they have remained in their hosts, their might has failed, they became as women, they have burned her dwelling places, her bars are broken. Okay, Jeremiah 51:33, for thus said the Lord Yahweh of hosts, the power of Israel, the daughter of Babylon is like a threshing floor, it is time to thresh her, yet a little while, and the time of her harvest shall come. Which you're gonna see the elect getting beamed up and the others, you know, being destroyed. In Babylon. Jeremiah must jump down. I'm jumping up and down. Jeremiah 51:36, therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I will plead thy cause, and take vengeance for thee, and I will dry up her sea, and make her springs dry, and Babylon shall become heaps, a dwelling place for dragons, an astonishment, and a hissing without an inhabitant. Which that goes hand in hand with Revelation 18 and Isaiah 13. You know, you're gonna have these desert creatures, you know, scorpions and whatnot living in there. Yeah. You see, man. Let me get those scriptures and then I'll wrap it up. I'll try going back to sleep. Revelation 18:1, and after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. You see? this desert creature is gonna be the only things living in Babylon. You're not gonna see people in there. Isaiah 13 and 19, and Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellence shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah, which didn't happen for the ancient Babylon. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. But wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. You see, and the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces, and her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. So you're gonna see these different, scorpions, these different, desert birds and whatnot, living in Babylon. So that's the only thing. So the same is also in Isaiah 34, verse 13, and thorns shall come up in her palaces, nettles and brambles in the fortress thereof, and it shall be an habitation of dragons, a court for owls. The wild beasts of the desert shall also meet with the wild beasts of the island, and the satyr shall cry to his fellow, the screech owl shall rest there, and find for herself a place of rest. There shall the great owl make her nest, and lay and hatch, and gather under her shadow. There shall the vultures also be gathered, every one with her mate. You see? So that's the future of America, place of dwelling for these unclean desert creatures, these desert animals. By Lord willing, this was edifying. And also, like this was a little bit shorter. Indoor ministry. I should have done it earlier, now it's super late, but can't. All praise, glory, and the highest honor to Yahawashi, Yahawashi, bahasham, dash, double honor to the elders and pastors of Great Millstone. Shalom, and on to the next one. Shalom.